Hey everybody, Christine here. Would love to share some wisdom nuggets for you of how to move into experiencing the pure potential of the power that you are. Well, power is what you are. It's what we all are. There's this pure potential of power, of pure core creation. And it is so potent and beautiful and brilliant. And if that's true, why are we not really experiencing a life that makes us feel like that? Well, first thing I want to mention is that there are influences at work that would love for you not to know your power and to be all that you are. Those are primarily in what we would call the fourth dimension, which is the dimension of thought and of mind and of where influences of control come in. So I mention that simply because it's helpful to be aware that there are varying influences at work, and these are going to affect us physically and emotionally and spiritually, energetically, everything. That's just one of the dimensions that we are functioning in, and it's one of the greatest inhibitors where there is an agenda that's different than our own totally free, beautiful, powerful expression at work. So there are actually 9, and I would say even beyond that, 11 dimensions that we actively create in on this planet. And the fourth dimension, the one of thought, and where emotion comes in as a big motivator and actually inhibitor and snag in the thought field with us, is one where most of us hang out and feel that we are not fully connected to expressing what we are. Why? We get into our minds and we get into ideas of whether it's worthiness or distraction or disempowerment or fear or all those things. Those are all fourth dimensional realities. Okay, well, here's the thing about these dimensions and the way that they work with us in our system and in our energy field. They are vertical. These are vertical axes, very much like, let me give you this analogy. Time we experience as linear, as moving from left to right, and time is actually everything is now. And the analogy might be that in a movie, a timeline does in fact go across linearly across the page, and frames are for different points in the time. Well, in the story in a book, maybe the same story as the movie, and imagine then a point that goes straight through the book and connects all of the story of the book in this one vertical axis. You feel how potent that is? That's the nature of time beyond linear. This is also the nature of our power beyond the separations of just the chakras. And so in accessing each of these dimensions, 9 and beyond to 10 and 11 here on this planet, we go vertical and we get the power of every dimension in the one, okay? And I know that's kind of just a brief description, and some of you are like, yeah, that totally makes sense. And others like, I have no idea what that means. Doesn't really matter either place that we are with that, but what is coming, and I'm super excited to share, is a series of energy activations that align us with the vertical axis in every one of the dimensions, which we might correlate to the earth, our 7 chakras, the cosmos beyond, and that's actually what we're focusing on in this series is the 9. So that will include aligning with the pure potential and power of your fourth dimensional presence so that you are actually free from the distortions of collective mind and the influences that are there. It also includes aligning with sacred creative power. It includes aligning with the vertical axis that goes all the way from center of Earth, energetic center of Earth, to cosmos for your mind and for your expression of whatever's coming through that you're creating. So the series is called Pure Potential because it's what we are. And there are so many distortions and interferences in the field that keep us from experiencing our pure potential, the purity and the power of what we are in creation. So this is a very, it's a simple series, but it's extremely potent and powerful. It's not so much a teaching class as it is let's get the alignment, let's bring in, activate, and align with the core power of what we are in each of these vertical dimensions through our body, through our system, through our lives, so that we can live more clearly, freely from the distortions and the interference that keeps us from knowing our lives as the pure potential that they are. Once this is uncapped, it's like I really get the visual of it being having a cap on it. Let's keep the lid on it. Those are some of those influences I was talking about. Okay, fine. That's a really old story, no matter what you want to call it. And we all have been looking at a lot of that lately. That's a very old story of power over on this planet. And this is a way that actually transmutes that. We no longer are subject to those very things maybe that you're coming across in information about the world. The forces, whether you want to call it, it's the Great Reset, New World Order, Cabal, Deep State, all these different agendas going on. And they're really cosmic agendas. They are. They're so far beyond this planet. And yet we can transcend them by returning to alignment with the core of our pure potential and what we are, bringing that vertical axis all the way through. Now, it's very special that we're doing this, that I'm here facilitating this series of activations on the big island of Hawaii. Hawaii showed me very clearly one day. I was headed up to Waipio Valley, one of the power points on this particular island. I was going to say planet, and yes, that too. And it showed me that in the space where the fresh water meets the sea, it is a place where all 11 dimensions of this planet are activated at once. So I know that I've been tapping into this. Gosh, I just got the angel bumps. I've been tapping into that reality long before I saw this series or knew what it was or before it asked to come through. And that is part of my commitment, and my choice is to allow that help of this very specific place to help activate that for all of us. It's really, really helpful. Places do matter. So whether, obviously we're experiencing the event virtually, but wherever you are, you will be able to tap into that activation as well. And so each day it's a 30-minute video activation. There will be messages that come through only as they support the absolute potency of the energetic activation, and sound will be included in that way. The main piece of it is simply receiving a deep and expansive and powerful alignment with the vertical axes of all 9 dimensions, of these 9 dimensions that we created in this planet, so that you are free from distortions in any of those dimensions. So that means free from the distortions around any stories around wealth or money or safety or security or what it's like to be in the collective. Free from any of the distortions around what it's like to be creative, to be sexually empowered, to be pure in your creation through the physicality. Any distortions around self-image, around self-worth, around story, self-identification. Anything that is not fully open and activated and divinely interfaced with the entire heart of all that we are. Any distortions around being able to speak clearly. You see what I'm saying? I'm kind of going through these chakra centers, but they're really about vertical axis alignment with various dimensions that we create in here that most of us are fairly unaware of. So super excited for this potent series. So thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in and letting me share this with you. It is so potent and powerful, and connected at the core of it is the sacred geometry that is in the graphics. The visuals for this is the Sri Lantra, which is the Om, the sound of pure creation, and it's also very protective and very activating for the step that you need to take in your next embodiment and creation. And that's at the core of this energy that we're working with. It's pure. It is pure potential, and it's what we are, and we're bringing it online all the way through, up and in and down, and each direction, all the ways. So I hope you'll join us. Looking forward to being with you there. You can find the event on ChristineLaria.com. See you there. You are pure potential. You are powerful. Pure creation. Light. I say yes.